Welcome to the very first episode of Widow's Peak. I'm Reverend Denise Blakely. I'm sure that if you tuned into this station that you are suffering probably one of the worst things that can ever happen to a person, the loss of somebody you love, the loss of someone that you've been around for a short or a long time, but either way they're in your heart. And now your heart is hurting because they've died, or they've moved or passed on or whatever terminology you'd like to use. Some people use transition, which is a beautiful, beautiful term for moving from this plane of existence to another. But we'll talk about that later. Either way, if you've tuned in, you are hurting and hurting pretty bad. I lost my life partner, my best friend. His name was Marshall. He was in the hospital for about 4 months. He fought so hard because that's the kind of person he is, a true soldier. But he passed away in December of 2024. And I'll never forget being in the room with him, but not being in the room with him. His body was there. Everything that looked like him was there, but he wasn't there. And it took me a minute or two to realize that. I sat by his bedside in the hospital and I talked to him for a little while and I held his hand, but I got no response because he wasn't there. If you're going through this or have gone through this, whether recently or 5 years ago or 10 years ago or just a few minutes ago, the very first thing that hits you is a sense of disbelief, of being just numb. Your mind is telling you that maybe you should have a deeper, more vocal reaction. But for some people, you can't talk, you can barely move. And as you try to process everything that's happening, the mind plays some weird tricks with you. Sometimes, especially if you're sitting in the room where they just died, sometimes you even see them move or you see them breathe, or even after the doctors have told you that they flatlined or that on the monitor there's no life, you see life. That's because in your mind that person still has life. And that's not a bad thing. And that doesn't make you crazy either. That's just your mind trying to cope with the trauma of losing your best friend, your lover for life, the person that you intended to just be with forever and ever. And unfortunately, forever and ever for us is a finite time. It is. So as you try to wrap your mind around it, know that you're not crazy and that you're not losing it. If you're numb right now, it's actually a blessing. It helps cushion the blow. It helps cushion your heart against the feelings that are going to come later. But for right now, you still have to either drive yourself home or have someone drive you home. You still have to eat. You still have to sleep. You still have to talk to other people. And as we'll cover in the next episode, there's a lot of planning that has to happen at a moment when you least feel like talking to people or planning anything. You've got to make some of the most important plans of your life. Take heart though. You will get through it. You'll get it done. And we're going to do it together as we form this community of those who have lost someone. Just know that you're still you. You're just a hurting you. You're just an in pain you. And the you that you are now is someone you've never met before. So as you get acclimated to this you that you are now, be gentle with yourself. If it takes a big bowl of ice cream, if it takes just sleeping or staying in bed a day, if it takes cutting the phone off or getting away from the computer for a while, do everything that you can to try to grab some peace during this hurtful, hurtful time. And just know that there are people who can help you. Again, we will talk about that in the next episode. So I hope that this has helped. I hope that as the weeks and the months and the years go by, we'll get to know each other better, that you'll see me as an ally, as someone that you can cry out to or come alongside, but just know that this hand is holding your hand and you're not alone in this. Until next time, this is Widow's Peak.